Hey everyone, this week I've got a 2020 Mazda CX-5. I really like this vehicle. I would recommend it to anyone looking for a compact SUV, and I would cross-shop it with anything from a Toyota RAV4 all the way to a Lexus NX. It really sits on that line between mainstream and luxury, and it really only charges a small price premium over a comparable mainstream compact SUV. So, without further ado, we will do a little tour inside and outside, and I will give you some more of my thoughts on the CX-5. So the color here is called Machine Gray. I've got the headlights turned on so you can see the design in the lights. Really attractive vehicle. I think that's one of its biggest selling points, inside and out. This is a fully loaded signature trim level. So it's got 19-inch wheels, Nappa leather inside. It's got the 2.5-liter turbocharged engine that puts out 250 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, provided you fill it with premium fuel. With regular, it's rated at only 227 horsepower, but still 310 pound-feet. Dual exhaust. It's a design touch that I enjoy. A subtle change to the CX-5 for 2020 is that you'll notice the CX-5 badge is no longer italicized. If the badge on the back looks like this, you can tell you're looking at a 2019, 2018, or 2017 CX-5. Power tailgate. Show you the cargo area. So this is a compact SUV. Like I said, competes with vehicles like Toyota RAV4, Honda CR-V, Ford Escape. So, accordingly, you get compact SUV cargo space. Seats fold down. Actually, that's interesting. 40-20-40 split fold second row. So you can throw a set of skis up there, fishing poles, other long items. That's a unique feature. Most seats are 60-40 split, so in most cases, this middle piece would be attached to either of these sides here, but 40-20-40 in the CX-5. Climb inside. And another of the CX-5's main selling points is its really, really nice interior. So I know it's hard to tell, but the leather here is brown. That's what you get with the Signature Edition. It's brown Nappa leather, perforated on the inserts here, heated and ventilated seats. Before we get too much further, let's take a look at the window sticker. So, 2020 Mazda CX-5, machine gray metallic exterior with a Caturra brown interior. Fuel economy for the turbo, and you can see 2.5-liter turbo, and that horsepower figure is for if you were to fill it with regular gasoline, but with premium it gets 250 horsepower and makes 310 pound-feet of torque regardless of what kind of fuel you feed it. And with that engine, it achieves 22 city, 27 highway, and 24 combined. That's not too bad. Lots of active safety features are standard. You get an 8-inch color display. So not the biggest infotainment screen in the world. Bose audio system, basic sunroof, no panoramic roof in this thing. Altogether though, total price comes in at just under $39,000. That's on par with most mainstream compact SUVs. So, start it up. You can see there is a screen in the gauge cluster. I'm measuring it with my index finger and my pinky, so it's a rectangular screen. This ring around the speedometer is physical plastic. It's over top of the screen, which is kind of interesting. And then these two gauges on the sides here are regular old mechanical gauges. Other highlights, high-end materials. So this is a soft touch door here. I don't know if it's real leather, but it feels like leather, and there's a gentle cushion to it. Some stitching there. This isn't real wood. It's just finished to look like real wood. It's actually just plastic. Moving down, more soft touch, little aluminum trim right there. Again though, just plastic. Aluminum plastic door handle. Piano black around the window controls here. One thing that Mazda really gets right, and it's evident in the CX-5, is the switchgear. So this window control feels really crisp. It's not a slow release window like you get in a Lexus, but still feels solid and substantial. And like I said, the switches, you're gonna have to take my word for it, but they feel really nice to use. Over here, you've got some other features. There's for the power tailgate. There's the 360-degree camera system. So top-down view on your right there, and then to your left is actually a view out the front. Not a really high-resolution camera. Hyundai and Kia, and I know Acura are offering much sharper cameras than this at this point, but it's still a 360-degree camera system in a sub-$40,000 SUV. Not a bad value. Beyond that, this is a new off-road mode button. All it does is gives you a little different distribution of power between the front and rear wheels. We'll leave it at that. This turns off lane keep assist or lane departure warning, and then button for the parking sensors right there as well. Moving on. So this is Mazda's older steering wheel design. The CX-30 and the Mazda 3, on which the CX-30 is based, come with a new steering wheel design. Those are kind of the next generation of Mazda products. The CX-5 is kind of previous generation at this point. It still feels modern and premium, but this isn't Mazda's most recent steering wheel design. Still though, feels nice, leather wrapped. You get paddle shifters. And over here you have audio controls, phone controls, cruise control controls, and then some different modes for the cruise control down here. Another highlight of Mazda interiors for me, and this is probably just me, but I love the way the hazards button feels to use. I'll press it here. It is probably the most precise button I've ever felt in a vehicle. I'll do it again. So there's no wiggle to it. Feels solid. Completely linear action. Probably my favorite button of all time in a car. We'll just leave it at that. Moving on. Frameless rearview mirror. Like I said, sunroof. This is another really nice design. The sun glass holder here is also really precise, just like the hazards button. Down here are your HVAC controls. This thing has a heated steering wheel. That button is oddly placed above the rest of the controls there. But again, nice controls, nice finish, smooth operation here. Heated seat button, ventilated seat moving back, piano black on the center console here. Your infotainment screen, while it is a touchscreen, when the vehicle stopped, it's primarily controlled by this dial here, which is another feature that you'd find on a more upscale vehicle. I know the new infotainment system on the new Mazda 3 and the new CX-30, those being the next generation Mazda products, it's actually no longer a touchscreen, but this one is still a touchscreen. We'll go home. The design isn't too bad. I know this system gets some criticism, but it's never really bothered me. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for 2020. So that allows you to get around some of the shortcomings of the system. If you really don't like it, you can just plug your phone in and use CarPlay or Android Auto and not have to interact too much with Mazda's native system. But it's never really bothered me too much. That said, I have been enjoying using Android Auto this week. 6-speed automatic transmission. You do get a sport mode toggled on and off via this button right here. When it's on, it gives you more aggressive shift points and slightly more aggressive throttle response. Pretty much par for the course. Bose audio, if I didn't mention that before. I think that about covers the front seat. We'll hop into the back. Okay, sitting in the back seat of the CX-5, and I have the seat positioned where it would be if I were driving, and there's not a ton of room back here. Half of an index finger worth of space between my knee and the driver's seat back, but it's still comfortable. I think I'd be all right back here on a road trip. Could always use a little bit more space, but it's borderline, we'll put it that way. Nice thing is that on the signature trim, the second row is heated, and those controls, it would be easy to miss them, but they're actually in the armrest back here. There's also a storage compartment with 2 USB charging ports. AC vents, no controls, just vents. Beyond that, not a lot to see. Pockets on both of the seat backs. There is a light. Pretty nice button. Grab handles. hook for a hanger, and not a whole lot else. Room for a bottle there. And I think that about sums up the CX-5's second row. Here's another element of the past generation of Mazda vehicles. The new Mazda 3 gets rid of this button here and just uses a touch-sensitive door handle. But on the CX-5, you still have to press this button to unlock and lock the vehicle via the proximity key. In conclusion, 2020 Mazda CX-5, not the newest compact SUV on sale. This thing was last redesigned for 2017, while competitors like the Toyota RAV4 was all new for 2019, the Ford Escape was all new for 2020. So not the most modern vehicle, but it's still a really great value as it gives you a light luxury experience at the price of a mainstream SUV. $38,000 for this thing, fully loaded, given that you get a Bose audio system, 360-degree camera, really, really nice interior. This thing kind of has that presence that you don't get with most other mainstream SUVs. Passes the look back test. I really like it in Mazda's, I believe it's called Soul Red Crystal or Soul Crystal Red, the red ones. Those look really, really good. I think, but regardless of color, this is a really attractive vehicle. And yeah, you get a little bit more than you expect with the CX-5, given what you pay for it. Thank you for watching.